There's so much that you can manifest into your life. Whatever you have in your mind can be reality. I feel like becoming an adult is such a challenging and confusing time, and nobody prepares you for it. Like, what the frick is going on? Like, entire society itself, it's such a scam. I'm sure you guys have had fallouts before, and do you feel like they're worse than breakups? Hey, hello everybody. I've had a few drinks. Not even. I had like literally one glass. Beautiful Prosecco, which is now all gone because somebody drank it all and it wasn't me. Also this Similian Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know what's up with me, but I've been into this recently. Actually, no, I haven't been, but like I've had things on recently, so I've had drinks, and look how beautiful this packaging is. I didn't like, this packaging is beautiful. I'm keeping these bottles. Look at that. That is so pretty. I don't know. So I'm actually home alone right now and I've had a glass or two, so I'm like chilling. I just dropped off Clint, who is my boyfriend by the way, and he is at a party, and I was gonna go to this party, but then I was like, I actually have things to do, so I'm gonna make myself some dinner at home and eat with you guys. So we're gonna have a date tonight. Actually, my cats are here. You guys are on a date with me and my cats. My cats are like chilling. Bubbles, come here, come here. Okay. Well, anyways, you can see her. She's over there. I'm gonna pour myself another glass and we're gonna have catch-ups, which I love. Cheers, guys. That is refreshing. I'm gonna make a few things. So tonight I'm gonna make pasta because I love pasta. I'm gonna make a rigatoni spicy tomato pasta. I feel like this is a lot of pasta for me. While the pasta boils away, I'm going to make myself a little capri salad. For this capri salad, you literally need two things, which is cheese and a tomato. And then you can have olive oil, or I like to have truffle olive oil. I'm gonna wash this. So basically, I've been thinking about life a lot recently, and I feel like I get really caught up with the amount of things that I want to do and achieve, and I get very overwhelmed in my own head with all the things that I want in life. And sometimes I forget that it's not a race that you're running. I mean, it is a race that you're running because you're racing against time, but it's also not a race to get to your goal. But I feel like I'm in such a rush. I don't know why, and it's such a strange thing because I feel very complicated about these feelings and I'm not sure really how to handle it, and I get very overwhelmed in my thoughts because I'm like, you know, I want so many things and I feel like I'm moving towards all the things that I want, except I'm like, why is it that I want all these things? Like, I don't know, I wish I was like more simple and I didn't want all these things, but I think potentially maybe because I feel some sort of exposure to these things in life that I realized people had, and I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Like, that's something that I would love to achieve in my lifetime. Although I feel like I put the pressure on myself of like having to achieve those things so soon. And it's crazy because like a regular person's timeline isn't necessarily like that, except I feel so much pressure because I just feel like I want those things, you know? And it's not just for myself, like selfishly for myself, yes, because I want to know I'm able to do those things. I think I was never like a particularly gifted person in any way, and I felt never like that special about my skills, my abilities, my academics or anything, surprisingly. And no, I'm not just saying that, like genuinely, like I was not that kid. I was not that Asian kid who could do math. I literally couldn't do math, and I hated it so much because I felt like such an average being where everyone could do everything. They could play piano, they could do math really well, their academic grades were so amazing, and I was like, what is special about me? There is like, I felt like there was nothing special about me, although like, you know, my mom would always tell me that I was special. And so I think that gave me a lot of confidence in terms of, although like I was very standard and regular at a lot of things, like I had the will to like go after everything else that I wanted. Anyways, from a young age I feel like I was very self-determined, especially when I fixated on particular goals. And recently I've fixated on this one goal that's been like really bugging me for like this entire year, and I'm not gonna say it only because I believe in like the evil eye, and I feel like somebody's gonna take that away from me if I announce it on the internet, but like I will tell you guys, of course, once I have it. I'm like one of those people, like with goals, I feel like there's different kinds of people. There's people who like to say their goals out loud to the world, and like I don't like to tell the world. Like I'll tell the world privately, but I won't tell like the world and like announce it publicly, because I kind of just want to show up one day with that goal being achieved and being like, ta-da, like here I did it. Like for example, when I started the Plan brand, I didn't tell anyone that I was starting the Plan brand. First of all, I felt like maybe someone would discourage me or judge me because there's judgmental people, and like I didn't need any noise. I just wanted to do it, get it done, have it out, and then I'd be like, ta-da, I did that. And that would be it, you know? That's my approach to a lot of things. I feel like there's no need to tell anybody about it because it's none of their business. Okay, we're gonna make this salad. Okay, so first of all, this is a capri salad, by the way. It's so easy to make. Like you literally just need this cheese. I forgot the cheese name, but I'll put it on the screen. And tomatoes. And so what you do is you lay the cheese and then you lay the tomato. You grab another piece of cheese that you lay down. And this piece of, wait, why is my cheese so ginormous? It's a bit big. I think I got to like the chunky section of the cheese, so it's like kind of really large. So you lay the cheese, then you lay a tomato, then you lay another piece of cheese, and then you just keep going. So I'm gonna do this and come back. You guys know that I moved out last year. If you didn't know, I moved out last year in April, and it's been almost a year and a half since I've been moved out of home. And it's crazy because I never thought I'd move out at this age. I genuinely thought I would stay home and my parents would make me stay home, especially as Asian parents, but they've been so open about letting me move out, which is insane because I literally did not think this could be possible. Because most parents, or I don't know about parents, but Asian parents, I feel like they're like, you know, stay home until literally you get married, which makes sense because you save a lot of money and all that. And I was like, that was the path I was going to take. I was just going to stay home. Except I felt like I needed some independence and I wanted to grow as an individual, and there was just so much. And although it is expensive and you spend money like when you move out, it's still an experience, you know. You like learn how to think for yourself, be independent from like your parents' thoughts and their teachings and how they are, and just you get your own space and you actually really properly get to be one with yourself, if that makes sense. I'm really grateful that I moved out. That's something about growing up and adulting and like growing out of my teenagers that I'm really grateful for. And that's all thanks to you guys. So thank you for watching my videos. Otherwise, I think I'd literally be at home right now, which I honestly don't mind as well. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, oh, I could just move home and like save more money, you know, be with my family, but it's such a conflict because I'm like, I like my independence so much and I think it's done so much for me, right, that I just I can't bear to move home. That's one thing about adulting and growing up and going into my 20s that I feel like has been like very important, is moving out. Like moving out has been such a big part of my life. I definitely recommend like everyone give it a try, even if it's just for a period of time, even if it's with roommates. Like if you have the chance to, I think obviously make sure there's a purpose to it and you're not just moving out for the sake of it. And you know, I feel very lucky as well to say that I moved out by choice too, because I know there's so many different scenarios where it's like friends and kids who are just like, they have to move out or want to move out so bad because of like their family situations at home. So I do recognize that as well. One thing about moving out though is you spend so much more money than you think you'll spend, and genuinely though, like everyone says it. I don't know if everyone says it, I don't know. Nobody gave me that advice. I didn't ask many people for advice either though, because I was kind of like, I'll just go with the flow. But you spend so much money, and literally most of your monies go to groceries. Like I swear all the money I spend is towards groceries because I like to eat. Calculate your spendings, guys, because that is literally where all your money goes. And yeah, you just kind of have to be more responsible with your funds and where they're going. And because, you know, if you want to save simultaneously, if you want to go on a trip, like you got to take all of that into account when you move out. So that is a huge tip. I did a video breaking down my expenses in a week. If you're curious to see that, you can watch that. But yeah, dilemma is like, I'd love to be with my family more because I feel like this part of my adulthood is kind of like I would just forever be with my partner, boyfriend, and then we'd get married eventually, and then I'd never be able to live with my family again. I'd never be able to live with my brother and my sister, which I kind of hate because I love my brother and my sister. That makes me like kind of teary-eyed. I don't know if that's the alcohol or if it's my emotions, but like I love my brother and my sister, and I kind of hate that like past year and a half I haven't been home, or like I'm close to home, that's the thing, but like also like I haven't been physically there just every day. You know, it's like those like really small moments and exchanges in the day-to-day that like I feel like help build your bond, although I do feel like I'm very close with them regardless, but still, that's something I'm conflicted about, being moved out as well, because I do love my family and I feel very lucky to have such a loving family, and I'm like, I don't want to be there for my family, but like it's hard because I have my own things that I want to do too. So yeah. Nice. Poured myself a glass of champagne. Actually, this isn't even champagne. This is Sauvignon Blanc. And it's white. This is just white wine. So, this pasta is so good. So I'm currently an adult, but I sure don't feel like an adult. And it's weird because I feel like growing up is so hard. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, there's so many different relationships and emotions and things that just happen, and it's just like I'm so confused by all of it. It's like one minute I could be crying and the next minute I'm so happy, and there's honestly nothing that's like overly wrong in my life, and I just don't understand it. Growing up and dealing with my emotions though, I feel like becoming an adult is such a challenging and confusing time, and nobody prepares you for it. You're literally a kid one minute and you just get thrown into like adulthood. Like, what the frick is going on? Like, I literally have no freaking clue. Like, I don't know. Like, what is this? Like, and the older I get, not even that I'm old, like I'm really young right now, but the older I get, I realize more and more how much my parents didn't know. Like, when they were raising me, my parents are also individual people with feelings, and it's not that I didn't before, but you know, as a kid, when you look at your parents, you're like, wow, they like know everything, and like they know right from wrong. Like, you get told what to do, so you take that as granted. Like, there is nothing more than yes or no, and like, you know, you trust your parents' opinions. But then you grow up and you realize, wait, they just have like a sense of judgment, but it might not be like correct, or it could be correct. You can have that too. I came to that realization in the past recent years. I also came to realize that my parents, they keep a lot of things from you that they don't want to burden you with, at least my parents, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm like, damn, like, I don't know. It's insane, and I feel so lucky for that, obviously. As a child, you don't realize these things, and now growing up and becoming an adult, I'm like, wow, like, I literally need to get my shit together, and it's so hard. The most confusing part, I think, is like figuring out a career, and then, you know, it is a capitalist world and a capitalist society. You just kind of have to like be part of that cog, and you want to maximize that. At least in my mind, I'm like, I want to maximize that and live my best life, and I want to offer my family and my parents and my siblings the best life. So obviously you have to play the game. It's so confusing because it's like you get thrown out of high school, you're expected to choose a degree, and then you're like, what? Like, I'm supposed to study something and like make that my career for the next few decades. Like, it's just such a confusing concept to me, and so I've been very bitter about uni per se and studies, only because I felt like I had lack of guidance, which is no one's fault, because obviously like my parents are immigrant parents, and they didn't know what to offer me in terms of advice. Like I was their first child. I was just kind of like thrown out there and I'm like, okay, like what now? There's just so many confusing things. Maybe this is like a first child perspective or a first child immigrant child perspective, but like, I don't know. It's like, it's a confusing time, you know? Whereas my siblings, like they'll have my input and guidance, which is, yeah, a little more helpful in my opinion. But yeah. And then it's such a strange thing where it's like you need to live life, right? And you need money to live life. And there's so many different career choices. Again, you know, you build up your net worth and then you enjoy your life and like all these things. But it's like, it's so much more complicated than that. Like it seems like such like a simple A to B goal, but then like obviously it's more complicated than that. And it is so like intense. And I sometimes like a lot of things as well, and a lot of people or just entire society itself, it's such a scam. Like I don't know how else to put it, but like sometimes I feel like things are overinflated to the degree of like its amazingness, or like it's something could have like a really big title and like it's like, wow, this amazing thing or this amazing company or this amazing product, and it's really like created by like a bunch of people or a person and a team, and like that's sold to the world and then it's sold to you as a thing, and like that's in terms of product, right? But I mean just in terms of everything, like I don't know, like everything is literally just made up, right? Like society is made up rules by, you know, our made up society, and we follow those rules, and obviously it makes sense because otherwise, you know, the world wouldn't work. But it's just so fascinating to me because I'm like, wow, like, you know, when you look at like a company that's super successful, it's like that was made up by somebody, and then now it's like a thing, you know, that exists within our society. I hope I'm making sense. I'm just like rambling at this point. I think it's the alcohol talking. Let me take another sip. But like, it's so interesting because I feel like there's so much that you can manifest into your life. There's so much that is make-believe. Not make-believe, but you can literally manifest so many things into your life because it's like they can become the reality. Like whatever you have in your mind can be reality. You just have to make it happen and find the right series of steps to get to it. And that's what I mean by like everything is made up, because you can make it up and then like work towards it and make it reality. And it's just like so weird. I don't know what I'm ranting on about right now exactly, but like it's just such an amazing like thing that clicked in my mind after I left school. I was like, wait, you can make things happen as long as like you move towards them. And I think like I peaked a lot of like this particular realization where I was like, things are very, very possible and tangible, and you can execute things because, you know, I think I hit a few goals that I set for myself, and when I hit those goals, I think I was just like elated. I was like so happy. I was like, wow, I can actually do this. Like I can actually achieve what I put my mind to, which I think after certain moments or certain goals I set for myself, let's say a huge one for me was like saving money, like saving X amount of money. And I really thought, not that I wouldn't be able to do it, but it was just something that was tricky for me before, because I think I was trying to get in that like good habit of controlling my money. And when I was able to, I was like, wow, like I can do this. Like the main thing is that like it really made me realize if I put my mind to something, I can actually achieve it, and it's not as out of reach as you think it is. Like as much as you think it might be not possible, it is possible. It just might take a while. It will take time, it'll take hard work and dedication, but you can do it, and there are so many things that you can do. That's like a realization I think everybody needs to have and will have eventually, especially if you do have like big goals for yourself or set any sort of goal. It doesn't have to be a big goal, like small goals, and you actually hit them off. It's like, wait, like you can actually do things if you really put your mind to it, essentially. That's a pep talk for anybody who needs to hear it, because like I am here for you. I've had so many failures and so many more to come. You get out of it and something great comes like your way. It's just like you have to put in the work. So yeah, anyways, other things about growing up that I've been really confused about is like ever-changing relationships. And I don't just mean like romantic, I also mean like friendships. And it's such a hard thing to navigate, like both of them. Like let's say in terms of friendship, like I've had like few friendship breakups in my, actually no, I've had a lot of friendship breakups. That's just because like, that's just what happens, right? But why am I just thinking of this now? I don't know, it's like weird. Like it's like they say they're like 4 different kinds of friends, like seasonal friends, friends for a lifetime, that kind of thing. But anyways, it's just weird because I think back to my friendships and I'm like, when friendships have kind of come to an end or like sizzled out, like it's always been because there has been a new chapter of my life, and I'm always so scared of that moment. And you guys don't understand, I lived in fear of that for like literally a year and a half because I had a friendship breakup happen, and then I became so scared of making friends with people, of this possible friendship like sizzling to an end of with anybody, that I was like, I don't need friends. And that is so sad to me now that I think about it, because I'm like, why was I like that? Like that friendship breakup in particular happened out of my control, which is where I literally felt like the world was falling apart around me, and it was like worse than like any breakup that I've ever had romantically. So it was so hard for me to like fathom that, and I think again it was out of my control, so I literally couldn't do anything to like reassemble this friendship. Like it was just broken. So at that point I was like disheveled. I was actually very sad. Like seriously, I was sad for like the longest time, and it really affected me as a person. Yeah, honestly, friendship breakups are worse than real breakups. Like I can't. But yeah, anyways, I learned a lot though, and I think that was like one of the friendship breakups that were more significant in my life, because I think it taught me a lot about, you know, how I was as a friend and how I could have improved and how I should have been better, and like just different things like communication, for example. Like it really hit me where I was like, I need to be better at communicating and you can't just assume things. And then I also think it reshaped me for like my friendships now, both positive and negative, because I'm like low-key traumatized, but like it's not that deep. But also like I can feel myself sometimes when I'm like, why do I feel this way? It's because of, you know, like previous friendships and how that kind of panned out. But yeah, anyways, the main thing is that friendships are tricky. And so for a year and a half, I don't want to get close to anyone. Like I don't really want to open myself up to anybody at the moment, because I'm scared, you know, to like meet people or rekindle friendships and just have it fall apart like that, like before my eyes, and not even know like what the heck happened. This literally sounds like a romantic relationship. But yeah, so that was really devastating for me. And then slowly and thankfully I opened up to people, and it was, thank God, for the people around me at the time, and like my friends now, and like my bestest friends now. But yeah, they really helped open me up, and I think they came into my life at the right time. And the people I have in my life now, it's insane, because it's like I have people, you know, who have obviously been with me like the whole time, but then I've also met new people or rekindled friendships where I'm like, wow, I have gone through like a significant turn in my life, and I'm in like a different era of me. It makes sense. Like, you know, you might have outgrown a friendship, and I think that was what happened to me. It's like I outgrew particular friendships, and you know, we all became different people. And that's also something that happens romantically, right? It's like you outgrow each other. And oh my god, that's another thing I'm really scared of, outgrowing your partner romantically. Like for example, right now I'm dating like Clint, like you guys know, but I'm so scared of like potentially outgrowing a relationship, or like either of us, because I'm like, I'm so in love and I want to be with this person. But it's like the future, you just don't know, you know? Like you really never know in life. And that's what's like sucks, but is also like, I guess like the beauty of it all. Actually is not at all. It is like traumatizing. But this type of uncertainty that comes with growing up is just, it's gut-wrenching. Like I'm literally like, I don't know how to deal with it, and I need to learn how to deal with it better, because it is just like the flow of life, right? Like you have experiences, people come and go in your life. I've only lived like 20 years, so I need to take it easy, but like I can't. But yeah, so I'm trying to chill out and like take it easy and like not be too stressed, because like honestly it's not easy to not be stressed about this. But yeah, so eventually I became more open to like people. I think I'm an INFPA, by the way, so I'm an introvert. I used to be an ENFPA, then I became an INF because I think lockdown happened, but also, I don't know, I just became super antisocial. I think like some things happened to me, I don't know what, but I have a hard time socializing. I'm like somebody who has very close friends, and I'm very close with particular people, and I find it hard to kind of share my energy beyond that. And it's really terrible because I genuinely love people, but I feel like I can't offer my energy to that extent because I get very drained by social situations. situations. Like I generally, like if I go out, like I come home, I'm like, I can't see anybody for like a month, which is sad, but I don't know, I feel like that's just like me. I'm like a homebody. Yeah, I like family time and I like spending time by myself, and then with Clint, of course. And then just, I like to chill, to be honest. I feel like life is stressful in itself. I'm like, I don't want to add stress in my life. But yeah. Oh, minis! I feel like I need to kind of accept more that like I have to let things happen naturally, and I feel like I've been very avoidant of, let's say, like relationships and friendship developments because of this fact that I feel like some sense of impending doom that something might come to an end, and I didn't feel like this before. I think again this happened because of past happenings, but yeah, I'm like learning how to be better at that again, and I'm sure you guys have had fallouts before, and do you feel like they're worse than breakups? I think they're way worse than breakups. Like I'm highly devastated by my friendship breakup over like my relationship breakup that I have. Sit, come here, Nubs. My cats can sit, guys. Ready? Come here, sit. Good girl. Mitts, oh my god, don't touch the fire, honey. Oh no, come here, come here. Oh my god, my cat is literally on the table. Come here. Oh my god, they're such silly girls. I feel more secure in relationships because I feel like I am better at communicating in a romantic relationship. I think I need to get better at communicating in a friendship because that is really like your relationship. You need to communicate better, and I think that's something that I've been working on. What are you guys concerned about in terms of this relationship department? I had a sad girl era and now I'm happy again. So I'm in a really healthy relationship. I have like the bestest friends around me. Yeah, I overcame that, which is the main thing. So if you're going through anything similar, like you can push through. Like I promise, it just takes time. You have to let yourself heal, but don't close yourself up to the world, because like there are so many beautiful people in this world who will care for you, and there are so many relationships to be formed. Kind of on the same topic, like I feel like I've been dealing with like my feelings a lot, and my feelings like are such a confusing thing to me because I feel like I have too many feelings sometimes, and it's about a range of things. Like first of all, growing up, second of all, relationships around me. So on the same topic, who I am. Like I literally am like, who am I? And I feel like the best that I can do right now is just kind of envision who I want to be and be that person, and I will eventually fully embody the person that I want to become. I think it's such like an interesting concept. Like you grow up and you change so much. Like think about like each year, right? I feel like each year I've changed so much. Guys, the treats are up on the chair. They're so silly. Okay. I always look back and reflect and I'm like, wow, I've grown a lot as an individual this year. Or like this part of my life has changed, and now this part of my life has changed, and I've changed my mind about like what I want to do and like where I want to be, and like, I don't know, like so many things in my life. And yeah, like my goals change. So it's just crazy because the best that I can do to figure out who I am is, I guess, to just keep living life, and I guess through those experiences it will shape me, but also like kind of envisioning myself as my higher self and who I want to be ideally. Like that really helps as well. I think I might literally make like a Photoshop edit of like me as like what I want and who I am, because I think that'll help me more. Because, you know, to be that person, you literally have to live as that person. I think that helps a lot. There's this book called Success Principles, and it's by Jack Canfield, and I really like this book. There's like so many principles though that literally like I have to read the book like a few times and re-highlight everything and look through my notes because it's a pretty heavy book. Literally not so much like personality wise or things like that, but like literally in terms of career and where they wanted to be, is they held like a party for themselves and they all dressed up as what they wanted to be in 10 years from now. So like some of them came and like pretended they were a super successful author, and like he came as a really successful author too. His friends came as like businessmen or businesswomen, and I don't know, all sorts of different things. So they had that party and they literally just pretended that they were people. I genuinely believe that that's how you manifest like what you become and like what you want in your life as well. You literally just have to become that, and you have to live as if you're that person. That is the mantra that I adopt as well. So I am living as how I want to be. I'm living me. I'm trying to be as full of a person. I'm trying to live as closely as I can and adopt the mentality of that person that I want to be in 10 years. I think that is literally how you become that person. And it's not so much fake it till you make it, but you kind of adopt those traits, and those traits eventually become part of you. And then you are that person. I hope that made sense. And I hope that you guys find that useful too, because I think it really helps, especially if you feel any sort of doubt in yourself or, you know, lack of confidence. I think I've had a confidence issue recently. Like, I was a very confident person like maybe 2-3 years ago, and then something happened in me because I think I lost that confidence and like ability to kind of stick by like my opinions and have strength in myself to kind of be like, you know, this is what I think about a situation. I think maybe it's like due to lack of social interactions for like the last few years, but like I'm working on it now, so I'm getting better. So yeah, comment down below like something that you guys are working on, because honestly that is like a huge one for me, is like social interaction and getting more comfortable with people. I stuttered a lot, like even a year ago when I was with people. I still catch myself stuttering sometimes, but not as much as before. Before I stuttered a lot. I would say something, get really flustered, and then forget completely what I was even talking about, and then I just look like literally so stupid. But now I'm a lot better. Like, I can hold a conversation like pretty good. Like, I'm not bad at holding conversations. It's more like I get nervous and then I repeat myself and then I forget what I'm talking about, which is like so embarrassing, but it happens sometimes. So yeah, even that happens to me, and that's something I need to fix. Even though adulting in life has been like honestly like so confusing up until this point, I feel very content, and I think I'm really grateful. Although I do think I need to be more grateful for everything in my life right now, because I think about the future so much, and I really need to live in the present. It's like if you think too much about the past, you think too much about the future, you literally just don't live in the present, and that's something I really need to work on as well. Geez guys, I have so much that I need to work on, but like at least I'm being honest with myself. So I want you guys to be honest with yourselves as well, because I made this video today because I wanted to reflect with you guys about just life and how you feel, and just be honest with yourself, because sometimes that's what it takes to kind of move towards the right direction and then take those next steps. Or also just kind of, you know, hit yourself with the reality of things, because I needed a reality check at one point and nobody really gave me that, which is fine because you kind of have to figure it out for yourself. But sometimes it's nicer to have like that encouragement and hear it first. So 3 billion chance of being a human and being born into my body, because I could literally be like, I don't know, a particle from this cupcake right here. So Clint's at a party right now, and I'm literally sitting here eating dinner by myself and reflecting on life. I'm so sad. Oh my god. No, I'm kidding. This is lovely. As confusing as adulting has been, I feel so grateful to be this little speck. Another thing about friendships that I didn't mention before is remembering to find the right kind of people and thinking about who you want to become, because surrounding yourself with the right kind of people is really, really important, because they shape who you are and they kind of push you in the direction that they're kind of all simultaneously also going in, or they encourage you to be a certain person, or will influence you regardless of if you want them to or not, or refuse to be influenced. Like, you will be influenced, you know, it just doesn't matter, like you're going to be influenced. So make sure you have the right people around you, make sure they care about you, make sure you have authentic relationships with people, because otherwise it's just a whirlwind of trouble, I feel. I mean, I haven't personally experienced anything that I feel like is like outrageous or anything. It's just like, I think it's an important thing to note. So, you know, treasure those friendships around you that are genuine and are supportive, because that is something really, really hard to find, I feel, especially these days. And yeah. That got so deep, guys. I don't even know what I talked about tonight. I think I just rambled for like too long. I didn't even eat my salad. I need to try my salad. This teacup has water in it, by the way. Something really random that I wanted to talk about is networking. Anybody have any feelings towards networking that like just feels like completely strange and weird? Like, you network to kind of have warm contacts, but also it feels so wrong to me because I feel like I'm such like a deep person that I'm like, if I'm gonna have a relationship of any kind with you, like it has to be like, it means like it's gonna go somewhere and it's deep. Like I feel like it's really hard for me to have surface like relationships with you. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's difficult. It's challenging. I'm like conflicted about networking in general. I don't know what you guys think. Just a weird one for me. I'm like, spending money. That is something else I wanted to talk about as well, because this year I feel like I've been traveling a lot and I have felt some guilt for traveling, but also not so much, because I'm like, I guess I should live my life and you're not promised tomorrow. There were some things that happened this year that kind of reminded me of that, like really heavily, where I'm just like, wow, like life is not very long to be honest. Like it's long, but like you don't know if you have tomorrow. I feel like I made the most of my travels this year, which I'm super happy about, and I feel so grateful that I'm even able to travel, you know, and have the finances to do that. And I'm just like super grateful that I've been able to, is like spending money, and specifically on travel, because I feel like those are like experiences that are just priceless. You learn so much when you travel, you have so many experiences, you meet so many different kinds of people, and it's just like the best thing in the entire world. I don't know, I'm just like so content when I'm like not home. I love being home actually, but like I like being elsewhere and like experiencing things and seeing what life is like. Probably not to like an authentic degree, but it's just cool to see, obviously, because traveling is great. And so I hope there are many more years of travel for me, because I like spending money on travel. But yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I went to Japan and Korea recently, so you guys will be seeing Korea and Japan content like so soon. I also know I have a Bali vlog that was meant to come up ages ago, but life got so chaotic and my footage was chaotic. It was literally filmed across like my phone, my camera, Clint's phone, another camera, and then it got real messy when I came back because like I didn't organize it in time, so I feel really bad about it, but it will come out. But yeah, so stay tuned for those. I'm gonna have a bite of this cupcake before I wrap up, because this cupcake looks friggin' amazing. Like what the heck? My friend Annalise got this cupcake for me, and she's literally the sweetest, because she did not need to get me any cupcakes, but she did. And I'm so grateful, because what the heck? Okay. Wow. I love cream cheese. Like, I'm literally gonna gobble this up. Okay. Anyways, thanks for coming to my therapy session. I hope I have made you feel better or motivated or less lost in your life, or at least been some sort of comfort. I know some of you guys are going through one of these things. These problems are so universal, and these things just are a part of growing up in life, and you know, you're not alone. Like, I literally have had so many quarter life crises in the past like year. Then what would you even call them? They're just crises. Just don't worry, because it is part of life and growing up, and these things will keep happening to us, but we will overcome it, and it'll shape who you are and the person that you're meant to be, and it's actually quite a beautiful thing. So anyways, thank you guys. I love you all. Let me know how you're going in the comments below, because I love to catch up with you guys and just see where you're at. I haven't done a sit down video in God knows how long, but I felt like now was the time. Literally I like went and dropped my boyfriend Clint off. Is my boyfriend, by the way. And he's at a party right now. I came home and then I was like, I should just turn on my camera and like make a meal and film, because I've been meaning to do this, but I just haven't. I don't know why. But yeah, anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and no matter how challenging something is, like, life is beautiful. So life is beautiful, life is great. You have a whole lifetime to get through it, so just relax, but also you can work on it. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to me rant, and cheers to growing up and figuring things out. I'm gonna go finish the cake. My cats are living the best life. Look, Biddies.